between Islam and Dustin?
I mean, such a great fight. What a huge fight, we're gonna say. I've always been a big fan of Makhachev. I've always been, as everybody knows, I'm a fan of that school, a fan of that style. I'm a huge Khabib fan. And I crossed paths with him during some training, and I even got emotional about it. Just as somebody that I've always admired. He actually found out that he watched my fights and he had some comments on my fight. So I was just there, just absorbing all the tips, and the fact that he actually watched my fights, and I obviously watch him train as well. So I saw some things. Listen, big fan of Makhachev. I just think he's a surreal evolution. He's growing a lot, and I think it's going to be Islam.
I think it's going to be an amazing fight. If you look at Dustin's boxing and Makhachev's wrestling and his grappling and then that whole Russian sambo and all that, I think it's going to be an amazing fight. You know, I'm rooting for Poirier, but I think anything can happen. It's an amazing fight.
Islam's a beast. It'd be nice for Dustin to write that story, you know, going off into the pit of fire, did everything he wanted to do, getting it all done. I don't really bet a lot, you know what I mean? Unless I'm at home with the buddies and we're shooting dominoes, shooting some dice and playing dominoes. But if I was shooting some dice and playing dominoes right now, I'd probably roll my dice on Islam, you know what I mean? But if I crapped out, you know, just because Dustin Poirier did his thing. So you just don't never know. I would love to see Poirier dreams come true, but to be able to say that, you know, Khabib and his brother were the most dominant people of all time as far as the sport went, and that's pretty badass too. So either way, the story can be written however, I'm gonna be good with it. More like,
it's a huge fight. I like both. Yeah, you know, we have same manager, me and Dusty. They collab with Tamara, Tiki Garson. But I think Islam is maybe even tougher than Khabib, maybe, you know, because he has best, on my opinion, he has good striker, good striking skills, and in the ground and grappling, I don't need to say nothing, you know, he's unbelievable good. So yes, it's so difficult for both, you know, it's a very hard fight for both of them, but I think Islam gonna win.
I think this is still a great fight. Obviously, Islam's a massive favourite, and he should be because he's that good of a fighter. So you know who I'm going to pick on this one. I'm going to give you the pick straight away, but we'll break it down anyway, just to break down the fight. I think it's just Islam's going to be too good. I think he's too safe of a fighter to make mistakes where he's going to get caught against someone like Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier is a great fighter. I just think, you know, it's just a hard fight for anybody. So, and I don't see anyone beating Islam for a while, unless they catch him, right? The only way I see, this is how I have always been in my division. I've always said, you know, anyone has a puncher's chance, right? Anyone can catch you. But that was the only way I ever saw myself losing in my division was, you know, someone catching me, because that can happen. That's just the fight game. Let's get into this. Southpaw versus Southpaw. Here are some little problems for Islam then maybe. Southpaw versus Southpaw. We know Southpaw in training, in fighting, majority of the time you are fighting orthodox fighters. You're going to be a lot more comfortable fighting orthodox fighters. Because that's just the rounds you're doing, the time on the mat spent is usually going to be with orthodox fighters. There's just more of them. I know there's a lot of Southpaws, but not as many of them. Obviously this camp, he's done more with Southpaw, but to get a real feel, it's going to be that little bit harder. Again, Islam's a very calculated fighter. I'm sure he's doing the preparations right.
Well, I mean, Islam's good, man. Once again, this is me giving a ton of respect to a guy that I want to fight. Islam is very good. Southpaw versus Southpaw, one guy who's much better at wrestling. At this point, the ease at which Dustin gets taken down is a scary thing for him. I don't know how you spend the next, it's not even 8 weeks, right?
Yeah, no, it's like a month.
It's about
and a half.
8 weeks, 7 weeks. You know, I don't know how you spend that much. I don't know how you can make up the ground to be able to stop some of the takedowns that you know Islam is going to throw at him. But Dustin hits very hard. Dustin has the heart of a champion. Dustin is, I would say, the most skilled guy I have fought ever in my entire life from a standpoint of huge heart, great cardio. His mind is with it when he's in the octagon. He will play possum just like he did with me. He will lose round. He will concede position. He'll do all of these different things to win the fight. He's a certified competitor. With that being said, I think Islam is better than him in every single aspect of the sport, except for the sheer boxing.
I'm a fan of Dustin Poirier. You know, I like his game. Someone that's inspired me throughout the years of my career. You know what I mean? Just seeing someone face adversity and come back and build back and constantly just refuse to say no, just refuse to go away. You know what I mean? So I feel like I'm cut from a similar cloth. So I'm a fan of that. That being said, you know, Makhachev is a hell of a champion. You know what I mean? A very good fighter. And that style, bro, that style is a tough style for Dustin. So stylistically, I think it's a hard fight. May the best man win, but I'll be rooting for Dustin.
Unfortunately, I think Islam.
Okay.
This is top fight in UFC, and in my opinion, Islam will win this fight. But Dustin is a very tough fighter, and this fight for the best in card for me.
Benoit Saint-Denis was going for the takedowns. He was using all horsepower. It wasn't finesse. It wasn't skillful takedowns. It was horsepower. It was brute strength. He was forcing it. Sometimes he didn't even have to do that because Dustin was jumping for the guillotine, as I said.
I will take him down. He will try to give him guillotine, and I will take his back and choke him.
But all that horsepower that he was using, revving the engine, redlining, just trying to finish Dustin Poirier nice and early, not pacing himself, the man gassed. Now, of course, it was a beautiful series of punches that Dustin landed. And that right hook that he dropped him with, absolutely phenomenal. And let's remember, the one loss on Islam's record comes from a right hook against Adriano Martins. Early in the fight, about 1 minute 16, something like that, regardless. Little short right hook, sat him down, and that was the end of the fight. But that was a long time ago. Since then, Islam has improved leaps and bounds in every facet of mixed martial arts. And he's not going to force the takedowns like Benoit Saint-Denis. He's going to time them perfectly. He's not going to use all of his energy to get him down. And even if he does, once he gets him down, he's going to hold him down. It is not going to be easy for Dustin Poirier to get back to his feet, okay? Simple as that. Charles Oliveira couldn't do it. He was submitted. Many other people have been submitted and felt the force, the ground and pound, and just the perseverance, the downward pressure, the high-level skills of Islam Makhachev, right? And he's going to pace himself. And he's not going to use all of his energy to get the takedowns. On the feet, that is Dustin's best chance. He's got to stay off the fence. He's got to dance around the octagon. He's got to use that jab. He's got to sprawl and brawl. He's got to do whatever he can to avoid a clinch situation. And on the feet, I give him the edge. Of course I do. But it doesn't matter. This is mixed martial arts, and Islam Makhachev will get that takedown. And if he gets the takedown, I believe he gets the fight. And he gets to defend the belt. And he gets to remain the lightweight champion of the world. And if that happens, and by the way, may the best man win. But if I'm right, and that happens, I believe Dustin Poirier will hang up his gloves Saturday night, and it will be the last time that he ever competes inside the octagon. If that happens, Dustin Poirier, be proud of yourself. You represented yourself, your family, your team, the sport of mixed martial arts to the absolute fullest. You did it with grace. You did it with class. You did it with the style of a bad motherfucker. You showed up each and every single time. But just because of that, I don't think that wins him the fight against Islam. Islam is just incredible. He's the pound-for-pound number one on the planet. And I believe Saturday night, he's still going to be the champ.
Well, looking at your fight on Saturday against Dustin, you wanted to fight on this date, and Dustin was the man up. I'm curious, did you know at some point you would have to fight Dustin, considering he's always in the top 5 at lightweight?
Yeah, I always thinking about him because he, I don't know, all his life in the top, you know, on the top 5, and it's my dream fight someone like Dustin who have big name in this sport, and I'm very happy because he is gonna be in my list. He's the same, you know, maybe become more old, and he doesn't believe he can beat me. His coach doesn't believe he can beat me, and I know I can make this fight easy.
Habib said he's expecting a finish sometime in round 2 or 3. Is that what you're also expecting?
Yeah, I will finish him because I'm in the different level. I'm a best fighter in the world right now.